Good morning, everybody. This is Cristina from TriathlonMami, Dashstrom Run Clubs, and Dashstrom Coaching, and I help moms just like you redefine what's possible for themselves, for their communities, and for their families. And one of the tools that I do this with is by helping you start a profitable children's fitness business. And we've been doing the 12 days of nonsense, right? So 12 of the reasons that I have heard on the phone over the past year that keeps moms stuck, or the reasons that you tell yourself that you can't start a business, even though it would be something that you wanted or something that would be good for you. So today is nonsense number 6. And nonsense number 6 is, I can't be a good mom and be a successful entrepreneur. Now, no one has ever told me that, but it's one of those beliefs that we hold like in our subconscious, right? It's something that is like deep within us, but we don't really verbalize it because we don't really know it's there. So we're going to explore that a little bit. And some of this has to do with I'm not going to have enough time, or I'm going to take something away from my kids. But it's unpacking. It's a different layer of that same thing, that I can't be both a good mom and a successful businesswoman. Are you ready? Cool, let's go. I just need to change my screen here because there we go. All right. So there's like so much to say about this. I don't even know where to start. But know that everything that I'm going to say right now, it comes with zero judgment. I'm just trying to be a mirror to what I hear from moms like you on the phone. And if I look at myself, it's the same mirror, right? I've been through the same process and I've had the same beliefs happen to me. I just happen to be a little bit further along in the journey than maybe you are. Okay, so this is what happens. We all use our kids, especially when they're little, to get out of things that we don't want to do. So if you're late, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. But, instead of saying traffic, you say, I had to change a diaper, or my kid needed a snack, or, it's a convenient thing. Or if you don't want to go to Aunt Edna's 95th birthday party 2 hours away, it's like, you know what? I couldn't find a babysitter. I'm so sorry. I can't go. Or, if you change your mind, and it's like, I had all intentions of going, but, my son got sick, so I had to stay with him. And these are all little white lies. And of course, nobody's gonna, people understand because they're children, right? Your children come first. And so we have a tendency to think is like, oh, well, that's not a big problem, is it? It's just like a little lie. I just said I was late because I had to change a diaper. What's the big freaking deal about that? And in that instance, maybe it's not a big freaking deal. But when you put all of this together, then it is a big deal, because then it becomes a habit. Then it becomes just something that you do, and you are associating your children to getting away from something that you don't want to do, or your children as the reason why you don't do certain things. Whether you like those things or you don't like the things, the association is made. And so if you want to do different things, right? Or if you're going to go out of your comfort zone, like starting a business is a big deal, and it's scary, and it's going to inevitably force you out of your comfort zone. So if you're going to do that, there's a really good chance that you're going to look at your kids and be like, I can't start a business because, my kids are little and they really need me, or I don't have time to be the mom I want to be and start a business. And you start putting the kids between your goals, what you want, your dreams, and this is you, and here are your kids. You're like, I can't see, because you're putting your kids as a block to the things that you want to do. And you're not even doing it on purpose. It's just because you have made those associations for so long. So what happens if you do this is that first, you don't start your business, or you don't follow your dreams, which is problem number 1. Then we talked about it in, I don't remember which day. I think it was like day number 3 of nonsense, when you don't follow your path, you end up resenting your kids. And resentment comes in like a million little ways, like different sly comments, losing your patience, and you end up hurting the people that you are love the most. So I'm going to make this hopefully as clear as possible with a story from me. All right. So I started my business in 2014, and I felt that every time I was going to get through a breakthrough or there was something big that's going to happen, something happened, something with my kids. And I'm like, fuck. So whether it's my kid getting sick or his teacher calling me in because they needed something for the class or whatever, there was always a reason why. And what I realized is that that would make me angry, because I would think it's like, and I remember the bottom of this came when I literally told my families, like, do you want me to fail? Like, do you want me not to succeed? Because if you did want me to succeed, then I need to then you wouldn't do this. But, and it's not fair. I mean, I was telling my family that the only reason why I wasn't successful in my business was because of them. And yes, it came in a moment of frustration, but it still came, and it's still not right, and it's still unfair. So what I realized that I was doing is two things. First is that I was giving equal importance to everything. So my child being sick and needing me was just as important as me reading a book to the kindergarten class. And it's not true, right? So I was using all of the things that I wanted to, that I thought I needed to do for my kids as equally important in the same hierarchy, and they're not. So between me and my goal were all these different little things that I thought I had to do in order to be a good mom. And what was happening is that I wasn't being a good mom because I was holding it against them. So what I did visually to myself is that instead of putting my kids between, here's my goal, here's me, instead of putting my kids between me and the goal so that I'm like, I put them behind me. I imagined, I visualized them propelling me forward. They're no longer the reasons why I can't do something, but they became my why. They became my propeller, the reasons why I do something, the reasons why I go for it, what pushes me forward. Because my business is about me, yes, but I'm doing it because I want to be a certain kind of mom. I want to provide for my family in a certain kind of way. Like, I do this in a large part for them. So once I put them behind me, and I don't know, like, I hope you get the analogy, but it's like pushing me forward, then everything began to change, because I no longer had that conflict of, I can't be a good mom and be a business owner because my kids were no longer between me and my business. They were the reasons why I was doing it in the first place. So that gave me a ton of things. And I had to look at my list over here. One, it gave me a lot of patience, because I was no longer feeling frustrated that they were holding me back. So if I was doing something that was for my work, I was in, like, and they came and asked me something, I don't know. I know, because I no longer saw them as a block, because I saw them as the reason why, it gave me this more patience to handle them or to getting their needs met. The second thing that it gave me is that it gave me more energy. I don't know how this happens, but when you are in your purpose, like, right, and you wake up with joy, when you are excited about the things that you're doing, when you see progress, when things are moving forward, you have like more energy than you know what to do with. And it's like this incredible feeling. And that's how I know when I'm on purpose, is when I wake up with joy, I'm excited, and I have more energy than I know what to do with. And I have time for everything, which is another freaking miracle. Okay. The other thing that I learned is that I became hyper productive. Maybe that's why I have more time. Because if I wasn't going to go read that book in my kids' kindergarten class, it better be for a good reason, right? So it's like I forced myself to be really efficient and to be productive because the opportunity cost was me not doing something that in the past I would have thought I had to do. So I gave the opportunity for another mom to go read the kindergarten book, but I had to be efficient. I had to be productive. So I began to be really productive about my day. The other thing that I stopped counting is that it gave me more drive, right? Because I had this enormous clarity of what it is that, like, why it is that I'm doing this business. So my why became so big and so important that it pushes me forward, even though I face obstacles along the way. And the other thing that was kind of a cool side effect about this whole thing is that I gave other people the opportunity to be influential people in my children's life. So I went from being a stay-at-home mom to being a teacher in their same school to being an entrepreneur. And in my case, I happen to be married to a man. I have a husband. And I used to be one of those moms that had to do it all, right? Like I'm the one that had to take the kids to the doctor. I'm the one that had to read the book in kindergarten. Like I'm the one that had to do it all. But when I realized that I don't have to do all of these things, that they're not all weighted equally, I gave the opportunity for my husband to come in and do some of those things. And even recently, like I started my business 6 years ago, but even recently, my son broke his ankle in a really bad way, and he needed surgery and all of that. And of course, I was there for him. I think, like, I don't know, at least in our family, my kids need mom when things are really bad. Like I feel like they need me, or I need them to need me, or I need to be there with them. I don't know, whatever the story is. But I was there. But after a while, and I was Nurse Nightingale. But to take my kid to the orthopedist appointment, my husband is perfectly capable of doing that. And it just so happened that the appointment was at the same time as one of my coaching calls with my clients. And I said, no, I need to be with my clients. My son is perfectly fine, and he's with his father. He's with somebody that loves him as much as I. Like, if anybody's going to love my kids as much as I do, is him, right? So they went and they talked to the orthopedics about the plans for the next 6 months. And then they went and had ice cream. They had a jolly old time. They bonded. And I met with my clients. So if I had to do everything all the time, then I wouldn't give my husband the opportunity of have those moments with my son. Like, their moments are just like the fun moment, but this is like of the I care for you moments. And I wouldn't have been there for my clients, which is really important to me. Like, really, if you are my client, you know how important those calls are and how I am there for you 1,000%. So and I would have been kind of like, fuck, like resentment or trying to figure it out or doing the call from the car or whatever. And instead, by delegating, by giving other people the opportunity to be with my kids, everything worked out. So I think, like, this feeling of I can't be a good mom and be a good entrepreneur comes from us thinking that we have to do everything and that everything has equal weight. So, my son's surgery was on par with watching a basketball game, and they're not. They're not. And if you don't give yourself the space to do the things that you need for you, then those little comments, like my snide little comments, they're going to come out. That resentment is going to come out, sometimes in ways that you can't really repair, right? So this thought that you cannot be a good mom and an entrepreneur is nonsense. And that's why it's nonsense number 6. And again, there's no judgment here. Been there, done that. I have the t-shirt, but it's something that I realize that we don't always perceive by ourselves. And so I hope that I'm a mirror that you can look at your own self and see, am I doing that? Am I putting my kids between me and my goals? Or are they behind me? Are they the reasons why I'm doing it? So this is what I can do for you. If you are ready to talk about starting a children's fitness business, if you're looking at these nonsenses and relating to them and being like, you know what, maybe I just need to talk to Cristina again, or maybe I just need to work through this, or you're ready to start, then book a call, dsrunclub.com/apply, and we'll have that conversation and we'll see, we'll see if it's going to work for you, if I can help you, yada, yada, yada. So book a call so that we can have that conversation. If you are going through these 6 days of nonsense and you're like, holy shit, I fall into every single one of them and I want to start a business, but I can't get over this. Like, I'm just like, I'm stuck. Then maybe you're not ready, right? And that is okay. So if you're not ready to start your business or to have that conversation, because there's still a lot of like mental mumbo jumbo that you need to work through, then go to this other link, mtg.dashstrom.com. And there's a masterclass there that's going to help you understand this gap between what you know and what you do. You know that it's okay for you to start a business, but you can't do it anyways. So there's a masterclass there, and sign up for our program. It's $3.25 a day. That's it. So in 30 days, we work with you. You will get your issue resolved. I can pretty much guarantee it if you do the work. $3.25 a day, it's a no-brainer. So go there and sign up for that. But either way, take action. So don't just come every day and watch me blab on for 15, 18 minutes and see like, oh yeah, cool. If you're resonating with this, then take action. And whether that action is to book a call to talk about your run club, whether that action is to watch the masterclass for Mind the Gap, for the mindset coaching, or whether that action is for you to do something else, whatever that is, that has no relationship to me, that's okay. But do something, anything. Don't just sit there and be like, yeah, she's so right. Oh my God, I do that. And then sit on it. That's not helpful to you. That's not helpful to your family. Certainly not helpful to your kids, and absolutely not helpful to anybody else that you would probably impact if you just got yourself together and moved forward into your dreams. All right. So thank you for being here, everybody. I will catch up with you guys again tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. And until then, have a great day.